discuss the building fee schedule. I guess first, I would ask, to tell you the truth, I was in that meeting, and I honestly don't remember. There was a lot of confusion, there were a lot of remarks made that were unprofessional, that to me, it was a very confusing meeting. And I will ask then the two people that chaired the meeting, would be Ron and Michelle, if they would tell from what they saw, what went on.
It was definitely brought up at the meeting about the students that we weren't going to charge students to use the fields outside, and that because we had kids coming out of district, that we would charge $2 per student who was a student using our facilities, because they were not EK students, because we said EK students would be free. Then when we came to the meeting, I made the point, why are we charging out-of-district students, but we're not charging out-of-district adults? That's where the conversation actually happened at the board meeting. And should it not be $2 for the adults, just like it is $2 for the district, or for the students that are out of district, not separating adults from students? And so then when I was asked to put it into the building schedule, I put it in under our conversation from what we had at the board meeting, $2 for out-of-district adults, $2 for out-of-district students. Then it went on in the process, and the final product I hadn't even actually seen. I wasn't at that board meeting. I know that it came, I think, to Sue and Mandy and Terry as the next step, and then from that step on to the board.
I think, and we haven't really talked about this, now that we have more people who do attend the meeting, to really talk about committees, and when the board asks for committees to take place, they are asked to review information and to give recommendations to the board. Because a committee comes and it gives us information and gives us their recommendations, that is not a final draft of what we're going to do. The board will look at it, make its decisions, and if we feel the decisions need to be, and things need to be changed from the recommendations, then that's what we do. Simply because something has come from a committee does not mean that it comes and that it goes word for word into what we vote on at the board. We often look things over and make changes, and I think that's what we decided to do in this situation. But it happens quite often that just because it's come from a committee, it's not necessarily written in stone.
Ron, would you give us your summary?
What Michelle said is exactly what I remember. We started talking about it as a $2 per fee for students using indoor facilities. I think we were talking at that time about the basketball camp that would come inside, and that was, I don't recall us talking about adults at that meeting, but I do remember, as Michelle said, talking about it here at the board level.
The only recollection I actually have, my interpretation of the whole thing, I think you're right, we talked about it specifically for adults, but my interpretation was that it was designed in those cases where people weren't being charged, when there was an activity going on, such as the soccer camps, when there wasn't a fee actually being charged. And that kind of carried over to the adult summer leagues and things like that. If there was no use fee being charged because of the situation, not having to bring the fields, etc., but there were people from out of the district coming in, and that was a situation where we should charge the $2. My recollection of the intent was that if there be charged a fee, there wouldn't be a $2 charge on top of that fee. My recollection, but that's what I remember from the meeting.
I remember that as well. We were going to charge, they were only going to be charged $2 if they were using a facility that didn't already have a charge.
At our meeting, all we talked about was at the student level. We never addressed adults. We never talked about adult groups being charged for out-of-district adults at the meeting that we had for the committee. We only addressed students who are out of district having to pay because they are not paying taxes to the school district. At the board meeting only did we actually bring up the idea, because I was the one that said it. why are we charging students and not charging adults for the exact same use of our building, $2 per feet, because they're not taxpayers. So from there, that's what I put on the building fee schedule that I submitted to the rest of the people.
I don't recall the conversation between adults and children, but I do recall the conversation about not charging when they're already paying a fee.
That's fine. I mean, I didn't make the decision in the end, so.
So I guess, what we need to do is decide, are we gonna go with what we already have, the motion that we already made? Or are we gonna make a new motion to vote? I mean, I guess I'm kind of wondering if we don't have, people from outside the district pay a fee, then does that would have to, seem like it would have to be across the board? Because we're talking about taxpayers versus non-taxpayers. So, do we want to just make a motion to vote, if we're gonna make a motion to see if we can vote on what we want to do? That's the only way I really know how to do this, or do we want to keep the motion that we already made?
The motion, if we keep the motion we already made, we're not really doing what we're saying we were gonna do. I think that's a typographical or a typo error in that spreadsheet.
Or a subject that wasn't clearly discussed, and probably should, whether it's the committee that opens it back up or something that gives some definition around it. Because there's probably differences in opinion.
It's really not the committee that opens it back up, the board voted on it.
Right.
So I think what you need to decide, which is what you're saying, you make an motion.
Well, I was aware of what we were voting on, I thought it was fair. I'm happy with the way it is.
So I guess if there's somebody that wants to make a different decision other than one we've already made, then we would have to come up with a motion. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Is it something that we can take a look at the fee and make suggested amendments to it and bring that up as a motion, or?
Right, but it has to be done by a motion because we already approved the other one, so however you want to do it, there has to be a motion.
Whatever the proper.
I think part of the problem that we're having here is that, 2 or 3 times we saw we had a document that looked like it was gonna work, and then somebody always thinks of an exception, oh, what about in this case?
Right.
So I don't feel comfortable about making a snap decision without looking at the repercussions in the other areas that we discussed. I don't know. I do agree, I remember the conversation, and a lot of stuff was getting thrown around.
Right.
And when it was all said and done, I'm not sure what we had picked out as being the ones we're gonna go with, and the ones that were just conjecture at that point. And I guess I'm guilty for not looking close enough at the document that we voted on, because I gotta admit, that's not quite how I remember it as well.
And even if we did, I guess it's not wrong to have someone ask for something like that to be reviewed. The national board, it's a fair question. If we made a decision and they think otherwise, then I think it's fair to ask for us to review it. But I think as well, I guess that's the other thing.
That's part of the reason why we dragged down this long, because every time we think we got something that works, somebody thinks of some other thing that we haven't considered. Not sure what.
So am I hearing you say that we need to discuss it more and we're not ready to make a final decision right now?
Is it something that we can relook at the building use fee the way it's written today and have a discussion on what the amendments to that may be? So we have a document in front of us that we're looking at versus just kind of a
I think
conversation.
that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
I think we need to have the original document brought back.
Yeah.
Look at it, and then make a decision. I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain thinking about what was on that document.
Yeah.
How exactly, you're down to splitting sentences here, that we can't run the document, so.
Right.
Mrs. Rainey, do you have that in your file? Or do you have a copy of that?
have the building use fees, or the building use forms?
We have,
The updated one?
Do we, something we can send the board members and we can take a look and try to represent it? Take a good hard look at it and get some suggestions, we can bring it to the next meeting, the board on it, those money, right there.
Can we ask the people that brought that motion up to send us along a short paragraph on what their issues is, so we can have the paragraph in our hand, we can have the issues in our hand and put them both together? Because I'm gonna be someplace sitting at the computer looking at their motion, and then we're gonna go, okay, what exactly was their issue?
Yeah.
Did you get the email?
Yes.
Okay,
But I gotta have the email in here now, so I
okay,
think,
right.
Maybe put a copy of the emails and with it.
put them both together, and they're saying, this is the problem we're having with this, and then we got the policy there.
are you referring to the email from Stephanie?
Yes.
So we're going to, definitely,
I forwarded it to everyone.
I think I had a comment on it, Chris might have had a comment on it, so.
I think so.
I mean, I feel better about making a decision if I can see everything on time.
I didn't see any comments.
Okay. That's the problem, yeah.
Today?
No, I would have seen all this, a couple weeks ago maybe when we got it. Was it
Well, I
This
sent
one
one,
was just.
I sent one Saturday.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I think I saw that.
Saturday?
I can, if you want to give your emails, I'll retype something and send it out.
Okay.
I did forward it